Listen, kingdom women, we don't just exist. Kingdom women set things in motion. We set things in motion. Hey, and welcome back to the Raven Nole Show. It's officially a new year. We've entered into 2025, and I am so excited to kick off the year with our first episode releasing during Black History Month. When is a better time than now? So whether you've been rocking with me for a while or you're new here, I'm so glad you're tuning in today. This episode is so important because we're talking about something that I know is going to shift how you see yourself and how you see your purpose. And listen, we're going through some crazy stuff right now in our society, wild times that I don't think anyone was fully prepared for. And so it's more important than ever to know who you are and how your purpose on this earth really operates, and, just know who God has made you to be. So before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button for me so you never miss an episode. And if this episode blesses you, do me a huge favor and leave a review or drop a comment in the comment section for me. It helps us to reach even more amazing women like you. And if you know someone who needs a reminder that she is called to do big things for the kingdom as well, make sure you share this with her. So today we're talking about the kingdom mandate of a woman. This is the best time, I believe, to touch on this subject, this topic, and to really help you get an understanding and just kind of get your footing pertaining to who you are as a woman of God and what does that look like from a kingdom perspective. And so listen, this goes beyond just knowing your purpose. It really dives into understanding the magnitude of the impact you can make when you actually walk in your purpose. So if you've ever questioned your influence, if you've doubted your voice, or you felt like, I need permission to be able to step fully into who God says that I am, or I need permission to step fully into my purpose, this one is for you. I want to start this episode off by saying a statement that really does sum up what we're talking about today. And I really do hope that it puts things into perspective for you. Woman of God, you were created to have dominion. You were created to dominate, okay? The Bible is very clear in Genesis 1:26-28, where it says God gave both men and women the mandate, okay, to rule, to subdue, and to have dominion. And so we can read the Bible and we don't always know the context, right? What does that actually mean for me? What does that actually look like in my reality? And so I'm going to give you a little bit of a backdrop to that in today's episode. So let's just start off with rule. What does it mean to rule? It means to govern, to lead, and to steward with authority. Now, when we think about rule, you can automatically start thinking about someone who is a dictator or someone who is controlling or manipulative or oppressive. But none of those things reflect the nature of Christ, okay? So we can't be talking about ruling in that context. However, it does mean that as women, we should be actively engaging with our leadership ability. We should be actively exercising the authority God has given us. We should be wise and righteous, and our actions, our leadership should reflect the heart of Christ. Now, when we talk about subdue, okay, when the Bible gives us the command to subdue, that means to bring into alignment with God's order. So this is referring to our responsibility as women. And so I know you want to think you don't have a responsibility, okay, but you do. And it's basically talking about managing, shaping, and stewarding creation according to God's purposes, okay? So creation is more than just flowers and roses and daisies and trees and animals, okay? Creation could look like culture. Creation could look like society. Creation could look like your job or your personal life, okay? So ultimately, what that means is that you have a responsibility as a woman to be impactful. You have to ask yourself now then, when you think about this and you think about these definitions and you put things into context, how am I making a difference? How am I making an impact? Those are real questions to reflect on. Okay. And then lastly, he commands us to have dominion. And that means to exercise delegated authority under God's rule. And that can look like, and ultimately what it does look like is partnering with God to accomplish his will on earth. And when we put that into context, partnership with God looks like purpose and impact. Okay. You're doing your part and he's doing his. And so you don't have to be a pastor or on a stage to make an impact. You don't have to have a microphone to make an impact. You don't have to have a podcast to make an impact. You don't have to be the wealthiest person in the world to make an impact. Whether you're raising kids, running a business, leading a ministry, or showing up in your community in some way or some form or some facet, your presence alone should shift any atmosphere you encounter or any atmosphere that you enter into as a kingdom woman, because God gives us the command again to rule, to subdue, and to have dominion. And start walking in who God made you. Now, I know that it's common to want to wait on someone to approve you, right? You want to wait on someone to tell you that it's okay to be this or it's okay to be that. But I'm here to tell you today in this episode, you have to stop waiting for approval. Time out for that. We're wasting time waiting for someone else to approve of us. Because listen, again, you already have God's yes. God has already approved you. One of the biggest traps that our adversary likes to set is he likes to create a trap of validation. And that causes you to want to wait for validation from people who were never meant to co-sign your calling. God didn't intend for anyone to co-sign your calling, especially people you don't even know, okay? It's literally a trap from Satan. If you know God has told you to move on something like write a book or create a program or get certified or go back to school, whatever it is, why are you waiting for confirmation from someone he never consulted? He didn't consult them when you were born, and he's not consulting them now. He didn't ask them, can, so and so be born this time? Can so and so be born this day? Can so and so have this color hair, this color eyes? No. Listen, the fear of rejection will have you playing small when God has told you to take up space, because ultimately that's what that is. When you're waiting for all that validation and you're waiting for all that approval, at the root of that is the fear of rejection. But you don't need validation from anyone. It's always obedience over people's opinions, okay? And you can't claim to believe in a limitless God and continue to play small and safe because of what you think people may say or you think people may think about you. This even crosses over to your prayer life, because a lot of times when we are playing it small in other areas of our lives, I guarantee you're playing it small in your prayer life. A lot of times you'll see yourself praying safe prayers. You'll see yourself praying small prayers because, again, you're waiting on someone to tell you or validate that you can have this or you can have more or you can desire this or you can desire that. And if I can go even deeper, sometimes this is a worth issue. It's a value issue because our wounds from our past shape our perception of God. And so you can feel unworthy of asking for more. You can feel unworthy of desiring more. But the Bible tells me in James 4:2, you have not because you ask not. This is your year to pray boldly. This is your year to move boldly. This is your year to believe God for the impossible. As a kingdom woman, your mandate on this earth is literally to rule, to subdue, and to have dominion. And none of that is happening if you're playing it small. None of it. Absolutely none of it. And so if you've been hesitant, waiting, or you find yourself playing small, I need you to hear this. God called you for such a time as this. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to say yes and go back and forth and then, in your mind, toy around with if I should or if I should not. All God wants from you is a complete yes. Give him that yes. Don't go back and forth with it. Give him a yes and take the next step that he instructs for you to take. If you're going to, go back and forth in your mind about who God says that you are and who he's called you to be, what's the point of giving him a yes? Give him that yes and stick with that yes. Okay. So if you're looking for an option, go ahead and click the link below and join my weekly newsletter, and make sure you tune in to next week's episode, because I've got something exciting to share that might be exactly what you need to start moving forward and start walking in your kingdom assignment. So thanks for kicking off our very first episode of the new year with me. If this episode blessed you, share it, subscribe, and leave a review, and let's get this message out. I'm believing this year will be a year of alignment for you. This will be a year of kingdom impact for you. And this is going to be an absolute great year of you walking in your responsibility and authority as a kingdom woman. Let's go. This is your time, okay? So until next time, keep thriving and making an impact.